45th South we just passed. That was kind of like the end of the area I lived in. But people who lived in Skyline lived north of there, some a little bit south of there. This used to be a paint store. There was an independent paint store that was actually pretty good. More of the dealerships. Across the street is Barbary Coast, is a biker bar. So you compare this to the street in Logan, and there's no comparison. The street in Logan you can't even turn it onto. That's an old hi-fi stuff. They had a really cool sign. There was all their old logos. All the logos of the hi-fi makers, and then it got really decroded. I think up here is a place that's still here that you can go in and rent a hot tub. Private hot tubs. I don't know about that. I had questions about those hot tubs. 39th, okay, across the street to my left, because last time I said to my right is the very first KFC where I shook the hand of Colonel Sanders. One of this white building here was a lesbian bar for a while. That one right there. Is that a streetwalker? She's walking down the street. Now we went there once, tried this. Who knows what they were shooting? That was a bad place. That was a stupid thing to do. Maybe that was the precursor to the whatever it is, Ozempic or whatever that stuff that is that Jack's on. That's my credit unions, the two big credit unions. I'm a member of both of them. One bank. Just saw something that Wells Fargo did, and I'm like, if you don't know about how bad Wells Fargo is, and you haven't, you don't know how to use Google. Okay, across the street is this little Chinatown development. You can't see it here, but it's kind of cool. It's a market and restaurants and a big Asian market, everything. And there's actually a pretty good dim sum place, or yeah, I think it's good. It's not fashionable or anything. It's not like that place you went in San Francisco where they have the carts, wheel the carts over to you. That was supposed to be a Chinese restaurant too. Alright, this is a big theater here. This used to have these two big boob-like domes. And now it's just a big megaplex. Saw a few things there. Trying to think the last thing I saw there. But I don't go to a big movie theater but once every few years. I think last I saw the Bob Dylan movie, and then before that I think it was the Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar. Good movie. The seats at the place in Ogden, it was like, well, these seats are bigger than they need to be. You really have a wide ass there. This place has kind of got location phenomenon. Everything doesn't last there. That was a Greek place. Now it's a La Puente. Frame it, got a lot of framing done there. Most of my framing, I think that's who John Paul used. This was Kirkham's. Forest Lodge. Reams was a weird grocer where they added like a certain markup on things, and this guy I went to high schools with, Dad was a big time guy up in that, and he ended up ODing on pain meds, but kids whose parents own grocery stores turned out a little different than everyone else. Now we're getting to 27th. This is the best donut place in town, Donuts and Deli. It's Cambodian, and they got the donut thing down in LA. Alright, this is Stan Sanders' block here, and then that's Stan Sanders' Price Right Trophy right there, where we were for a few months. You read about that in my book. There's where Salt Lake Donut was, where we went across the street, worked across the street for Gus. Me and Dave Martin went over there. Dave Martin was the guy that was killed by Joseph Paul Franklin. I sound like John Waters in the back of that car in The Simpsons where he's going down. This happened there, that happened there. Square Kitchen, okay. Oh, this is a new food hall. I went to this other food hall last night. It was really good. I don't know how many people are gonna fit in there. Or maybe with the food hall you can try your concept, and if it fails, someone else comes in. But the one in the Old Sugar House post office, they had a nice kitchen because they had a really nice restaurant there before. That was cool. I would definitely tell people to go there. It was a little dark, but it was good. It's a little confusing on how you order. If you're sitting at the bar, you can order through your food and drinks through the bar. But if you're sitting in the tables, you have to go to the individual people, which is a wine bar, a couple distilleries, a chicken sandwich place, Canella's, Proper Burger and Proper Beer, Santos. There's could be a Greek place, a pizza place. It'll be successful. The building's really nice. This is where Doc Floor had his wedding. Across the street's Tesla dealership. I drove by yesterday. Here's these condos. This was where the big skating rink and bowling alley was. So when you went skating for a birthday, you came down in here to the Classic, and it was a big room. And then they had a big bowling alley. That was a bagel place for a while. These restaurants, kind of revolving doors restaurants. New coffee place I've never heard of. Moochie's, which is the second store for that place. It's okay. Then up here was the Beehive, which was a little bar that had garlic burgers that were good. Now this is the city, the county complex. I'm going there a few times for various stuff. They got a good art collection. You can spend an hour walking around looking at all their art. Now back to these little prostitution style motels. Look at them, they got their own. Across the street is O.C. Theater. That thing's been a monstrosity for years. I don't know what's going on there. Land banking, I guess. Indian market didn't look like that survived. This seafood market used to be a place called, I don't remember, but it was a cook your own steak, pick out your own steak place, and Shad worked there as a busboy. And Jacob's Mill, I think it might have been called. That was in the 70s. Here's South City Campus, formerly